Hi Tribers, Kim Berry here with another DIY tutorial on UV resin bookmarks. We're going to be making a couple of different types. We're going to put a fun spin on these, so go get the kids. This is something that you would love to do with your children. They can help you and they can pick and choose and mix and match and do some really fun things with these. We're going to start with our UV resin. It looks like this when you get it. It's basically cured in a UV light like you would see at the nail salon. They're not expensive. It's in my affiliate links so that you can easily choose an easy model to use. This one's great. It comes with spare light bulbs and everything. And it's just like you would see at the nail salon with UV light inside. I love this craft because you can do so many things with it. Not only can you do these bookmarks, but you can do little trinket bowls and little holders and cups and trivets and coasters, tiles, all kinds of fun resin craft. I also, in my post about this, put in about how I made a piece of resin stamped clay jewelry. And that's this same resin. You can make bracelets with it. There's so many versatile projects you can do with UV resin. So let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is I use these silicone pads and silicone mixing dishes to put my colors and pigments and things like that together. Today we're gonna be doing two different types to show you the possibilities. This is where that fun twist comes in that your kids are gonna love. This powder here in this little jar is Photochromic pigment powder. It's different than your regular mica pigment powders. It's not for coloring so much or making sparkle as it is giving it a UV color change. This one looks white, but in the UV sunlight, it goes hot pink. They make them in all shades. You can get it going to kind of a camo green color or a gray or a peach or yellow or red. You get the idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in about 3 scoops of this one, and we're going to put it into this little silicone with our UV, and we're going to stir it really well, and it's going to make a white bunny bookmark. We're going to use this silicone bunny mold right here. On my affiliate links, you can see the kit of them. You get 5 different bookmarks plus tassels plus finger cots, which are like plastic gloves for just your fingers so that you don't have to wear the full glove. It comes with about everything you need for the bookmarks besides silicone mixing and the actual UV. But this Photochromic powder is amazing because the minute it hits the sunlight, it changes. So I'm going to show it to you here in just a minute. I'm going to add my UV resin. And I'm going to give it a really good stir to incorporate the powder. You don't want anything dry or chalky. This is my scooper tool, so I don't want to use that. I'm going to use a wooden stick here, and I'm going to stir and incorporate that powder. Now you could use some alcohol ink here if you wanted to. I have a couple of different. I like Ranger, and I also like Jacquard Pinata alcohol inks, but I like the Ranger and those best, the Pinata. I'm going to make this one white though, because the bunny rabbit white to pink is a pretty dramatic change, and I like that. I want to keep it that way. So I'm going to stir. You could put some glitter also in here at this point in time. The neat part about Photochromic powder is you can use it in other crafts like slime. If you use it in slime and put the slime out in the hot sun, or you play with it in a sunny spot and then bring it back in the house, it'll color change back to the white or whatever color you want it to be. You can use it in Play-Doh. You could use it in puffy paint. That's one of my favorites because then you can use it on t-shirts and flip-flops and hats. And when you wear it out in the sun, visors, you would put more powder in your like clear or light colored puffy paints, and then they'll change color. All right, so here we go. We've got our nice little pouring edge. We're gonna start with his little ears, and every one of the bookmarks has a little peg at the bottom so that you can put a tassel or a string or a ribbon like traditional bookmarks have. Of course, you don't have to. It's 100% up to you. And we're going to put this all in here, and then it's only going to need about 2 minutes to cure, about 1 on each side. Now, after you get all your resin in, you might want to use a tool to kind of help you coax it into the crevices. Like when you get little edges that it didn't quite fill, you just kind of coax it in, kind of like when you ice cookies and you want it to go float all the way to the edge. Okay, we're going to bring it, and we're going to tilt it and let it run a little bit here. My light is already on just to be ready. When we made these in my 2nd grade classroom, the kids were amazed. There were a lot of oohs and ahs over these color change, Photochromic and Thermochromic. We'll talk about that too in a minute. If I see any air bubbles, I want to get rid of those. A few, it doesn't matter, but you don't want it to be noticeable. If they're micro bubbles on this, it's not going to matter as much as it does on some resin projects, but on these bookmarks, it's not a huge deal. All right, so now I'm going to set this up, sticky end up. I have my rubbing alcohol cloth ready to go, and all I need to do is slip this in my UV light, and I'm going to put it in and flip it in about a minute. You can put about 3 whole bookmarks in your UV light at a time, maybe 4, depending on if you used a little one like this. Now we're going to mix up one that isn't the Photochromic. We're going to mix up glow in the dark. And this is really fun because I have 2 different glow in the dark powders here that I'm going to use so that when you charge it in the bright light, like maybe you're reading in the bed with a flashlight and you decide to turn out the flashlight, you would see 2 different glowing colors. I have a green and a blue glow powder here that I'm going to use, and I'm going to mix 2 little batches of resin. I'm also going to put some glitter in here as well. I'm going to mix some glitter in there so it sparkles when it's not glowing. So for the daylight time, it'll still be a pretty bookmark. I'm also going to put some alcohol ink in there to color it so it'll be sparkly and pretty, and then glow in the dark. All right, the reason for the 2 bowls is the 2 different colors. I'm gonna put my 3 scoops of my blue glow powder and 3 scoops of my green. And by the time I get this done, it'll be ready for the bunny to be done, and we can put this in. Now, one of the fun parts of this is you can decide to stop halfway through. Like I could drizzle 1 color of resin and cure it. Get it hard in there, finish it off, and then come back and add another color of resin. So you could layer it, or you can add designs to it by the way you decide to cure and add. You don't have to do it all at once. I can add 1 color and then cure it, and then add a 2nd color and cure it. It gives kind of a neat 2-toned or drizzle effect if you want to. There's lots of ways to play with this. You just have to tap into your creativity and kind of experiment, kind of look at it as a science project. All right, there's that one. And I'm going to stir the powder in really well before I add the alcohol ink because I don't want the alcohol ink and powder to clump. As you can see, my little silicone dishes are stained from a plum alcohol ink that I use a lot of. I really like that color and I wind up using it a lot. So they've stained the silicone a little bit, but it doesn't come off into my resin, as you can see. It's just stained the silicone. All right, that looks pretty good. Wipe off the extra. And I'm going to use just a little bit of this. This one's Ranger Alcohol Pearl ink in the color Intrigue. But I was also tempted to use some of this blue. So we might do 1 blue, 1 pink here and show you. Ooh, almost lost you on the video there. Got a little vigorous with my shaking. All right, so I'm gonna put this in. A little goes a long way. And I don't want to occlude the glow in the dark effect. So I don't want to go too heavy-handed with my color here. And I'm still gonna add glitter, so, you know. We gotta take it easy. All right, so here I'm gonna stir in my pink. And get that well incorporated. I kind of like some of the streaks, so if you don't want to stir it thoroughly, it's kind of pretty cool streakiness. I may just give this one just a little bit of that to let it show you that kind of streaky pour look that you can get. It's pretty. All right, and then I want to put some glitter. So we'll put a little glitter in here and a little glitter in here. And I'm just gonna give a quick stir and another quick stir. And notice, see, I'm not being fussy about the pink and the blue because it's all gonna go in this bookmark. Now I could do a straight line, I could do a squiggly line, I could do ombre. It's just kind of up to you what you decide to do with it. I'm gonna go back and thicken this one up a little bit and maybe fill in this base, and then, like I said, I'll cure it and then we'll add the rest of the pink to it. So let me go in and we'll flip our bunny when we do that. We'll put this one in and I'm gonna flip the bunny over and put this blue one in and cure it up in a few seconds here. All right, and here's our bunny. See that it's pink because the UV light, it's UV sensitive, and as I've pulled it out, it's white. All right, so we'll unmold this. They come out really nice. And I'm wearing gloves because you should always wear gloves when you work with silicone. If you get little pieces like this, you can break them away with like an X-Acto. They just kind of flake off. They just easily come away. And so here it is, and when it gets near that UV light of our lamp here, it changes color. I'm also going to show you a demo in a few minutes of how when you take this out in the sun, it will change. Okay, now I'm going to get out this that quickly. This is ready to go. I'm going to give our pink one more stir, and I'm going to pour it in all the areas that we didn't get before. And I'll give you a demo of this one as well when I can get it all cured and get a way to film it for you in the dark to show you what I'm talking about. Okay. And I want to make sure it seals good to the original. So I'm going to use my prodding tool here and make sure that I've got it in all the corners and crevices. And like I said, all these products, you don't need all of these to make bookmarks. You only need one. But it's fun to have them to mix with the Elmer's glue or the Mod Podge or the puffy paint or Play-Doh, homemade Play-Dohs or slimes. And so it's pretty amazing what you can do. All right, so here it's going to go in nice and sparkly, and we're going to put it in and let it go for a few minutes. And then when I take it out, I'll show you, and we'll do a test run of the glow power of that bookmark. I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back with our blue and pink one. We're going to unmold it. All right, here it is, and I'm going to show you the glow effect in a little bit, but here it is. It's all nice and hard and pretty. You have to decide which side's your favorite when you're up close to them. They're both really kind of pretty. And I thought, since we had leftover resin and I never want to waste anything, I would be real quick and make a mermaid tail or a whale tail, it's up to you what you want to call it, with our leftovers. So I'm going to add just a little bit to be able to fill up this mold. I'm going to add a little bit to the pink and the blue that we had, and this is even the Photochromic powder in this one that I've added a little bit of glitter to make it uniform. So we've got some Photochromic going on and some glow in the dark all in one bookmark, and I wanted to show you a neat effect here. So I'm going to put the clear in the middle, and I'm going to zhoosh it. That's a scientific term. And I'll use my tool here in a minute to help me with the zhooshing of this stuff into the crevices. I'm going to give this a stir and let the pink end be up near the top. Because everybody knows if a mermaid was upside down in the water, of course it would be shimmery and pink coming out. It wouldn't be blue. The blue would be in the deep part of the ocean where she could blend in and hide. All right. And we'll get the blue down here. Little stir on the blue, and you can see it's all the leftover that I've already used, and I'm using up every drop to do one more bookmark. Now these, to clean them up easy, you just pop them in the UV light and they will pop out. You can literally peel out the extra. Don't worry about trying to wash this out or rub it out with some rubbing alcohol and a cloth. You just put it in the UV light, and I'm going to do one here for you while we're doing it. Also, I mistakenly said a few minutes ago about you always need to wear gloves with silicone. Not silicone, with resin. You're supposed to wear the gloves with resin. All right, so here's my tool, the zhooshing tool. It's my one that I use for prodding it into corners and crevices. And I'm just going to pull a little bit of that pink down in. And I'm going to wipe it off on my alcohol rag. And I'm going to pull some blue up into that to give it a pretty kind of streaky effect. Now if we wanted to, we could even put just a dot of the alcohol ink. I'm going to go back to one of these bowls that's already dirty so that I can pick it up with my tool. That's way too much ink, but we're not going to use that much. And I'm just going to dip it in and kind of like bring those streaks down so that you can kind of see the effect it's giving us on our resin. I'm going to do the same with this pearl. Try not to bump the camera this time while I vigorously shake up the pearl one. Because it's got a pearlescent mica in this one, it looks like it's foaming or bubbling almost. It's really cool. And I'm going to go up here and put some of that color. And you can see why, even kids, teens, if you needed a quick craft project to share with them, this is a pretty neat one to do. All right, so I'm going to leave it like that. and let those colors kind of bleed and mix just a tad. And I'm going to put that in our UV light and show you the bowl and how neat and easy the cleanup is from this UV resin when you use it there. See, it just pops right out so that you don't even have to hardly clean a thing. That's why the silicone tools and accessories are great with resin. That's why I work on this mat, because anything that's sticky will just pop right off. Just like that, you get it all out and you have your mess contained right here. This can be broken up and used in other art projects. It kind of sparkles. And so there are lots of times that I've made some resin jewelry or resin castings where I break these up into little bitty pieces, and it's like flecks of glitter or sparkle with these different colors and swirls in it. And so save everything. Don't be a hoarder, but save every little bit that you can, because you can make neat things with it. All right, so I'm curing up this mermaid tail, and believe it or not, it is almost done. I'm gonna flip it over real quick. And I'm going to show you our finished projects here. The Thermochromic, I didn't show you the actual process. It's exactly the same as it was for this, so I thought, why waste your time? You stir in 3 scoops of powder and a little bit of resin and pour it in your mold. Again, color choice is up to you. There's lots of colors of this available. I just needed some boyish colors because I had a lot of pinks and blues. Our white bunny that will turn hot pink, which I'll demonstrate for you in a few minutes, as well as this glow-in-the-dark, two-tone glow-in-the-dark one. I'm going to show you that one. And let's unmold our mermaid one here. It's that quick, live time. We're going to pop it out. And this one's got all the effects going. It's got glow-in-the-dark on both ends, it's got glitter, and it's got the Photochromic UV powder in the middle. So this is kind of a jack-of-all-trades bookmark. All right, I'll be right back when I get to show you the test effects of these powders. Here's an actual view of inside the UV light, the Melody Susie nail lamp. I also wanted to mention that these Photochromic and glow-in-the-dark and Thermochromic powders can also be used in clear nail polish. You could put it in your clear nail polish for that same effect of the UV change, or thermo, if your hands were warm or you put them in warm water, it would change your nail polish. Hidden in this box is our Photochromic pigment powder UV resin bookmark. It's a bunny and it's white. So I'm going to bring it out and show everybody how quick the transformation occurs when it hits the sun, the UV rays. That's what this pigment powder does. It's sensitive to sunshine. So you can use it in Elmer's glue. You could use it in like a clear or light sparkly type puffy paint and make t-shirts or flip-flops with it. And it'll have this color change effect in UV rays. And then when it goes back in the dark, it will turn back and be white again, as it is under my fingerprint right there. You can see where my fingerprint was, it's already lighter. And as you cover it and get it away from the sun, it goes back to the original color. Now that I've shown you the Photochromic pigment powder in action, where we took this in the sunshine and let it change, I wanted to show you the Thermochromic. Thermo meaning temperature, warmth, instead of UV sunshine sensitive, it's temperature. Usually kids can do this with their hands because they're hot-handed. My hands are always cold, so I have a difficult time changing the color on mood rings and things like that. But the kids usually don't have as much trouble because their hands are usually warm. I put it in warm water, and I'm going to take it out, and we're going to put it in cold water. The ice cubes have just melted in this, and you can see that silvery gray is now kind of a pearlescent color. As we put it in the cold water, you can see the color change, and we can even switch ends to demonstrate it even further. And the kids love going back and forth between cold and warm water. Think of bath toys or water play tables. Adults like this too. It's kind of a fun thing. Think of drink stirrers or something like that. But this can be used in slime and Play-Doh, and you could use it in Mod Podge and coat regular pencils. It doesn't come just in this gray color. You can buy other colors that you like and coat pencils with it, put it in your Mod Podge and let them dry, and then you've made like mood pencils. It's just a lot of fun. I'm going to drop it back in the warm water, and you can see it go back to that pearlescent color really quickly. Here's our finished glow-in-the-dark. We're going to turn out the light so you can see the glow. And there it is. Here on this one, we have the different colors of glow powder. So you can see a blue glow and kind of this aqua glow. It looks like bioluminescence, kind of. And here's our mermaid tail with the leftovers of that aqua glow and the blue glow. In the center here, we used the Photochromic, which will react to UV sunlight. So only the middle will change on this one to pinkish purple when we're out in the sun. And that's our mermaid tail one, and that is what you can do with some of the really neat photochromic, thermochromic, and glow-in-the-dark powders with UV resin. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, subscribe, and comment below.